A man charged with burning his girlfriend during a fight says he was protecting himself.
A Kentucky student says he and his family contracted Zika while in Haiti over the holidays.
An anonymous donation is helping elementary school students remember a murdered classmate.
This is WKYT News at 5.
It took nearly 12 hours this afternoon. A man accused of burning his girlfriend during a fight is in jail.
The search for Gail Abrams began around midnight after the woman showed up at a fire station badly injured. He turned himself in just after 12:30. We had a chance to hear Abrams' side of the story after his arrest. WKYT's Victor Puente has more now in our top story at 5.
About 12 hours after police started searching for Gail Abrams, he turned himself in. This isn't the first time he's been accused of assaulting a loved one. Police were called to Flat Creek Road around midnight after a woman wearing no clothes and with third-degree burns down the front of her body ran to this fire station.
The victim stated that Mr. Abrams had pushed her down over a pot-belly stove and held her down on it.
That led to a search for the woman's boyfriend, Gail Abrams. He turned himself into the police about 12 hours later and claimed the fight started after they had both been drinking.
We got in the bed, was gonna make love, and I wasn't in the mood. So I got up, and she pushed me down into the floor of my bed, and she started to stomp me and kick me in the floor, and I got up and ran outside.
Abrams says she eventually pushed him into the stove and then fell onto it herself.
You know, I never touched her at all. I pulled her up off the stove when she fell on the stove. I grabbed her and pulled her up off the stove.
Sheriff Melton says this isn't the first time they've had to search for Abrams. He was found guilty of fourth-degree aggravated assault of a child in 1993, aggravated assault of a spouse in 1994 and 1997. He was also found guilty of burglary in 2007. Melton says he's never been easy to track down.
Every time we go out there, he runs.
He's now charged with first-degree assault, unlawful imprisonment, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Abrams says he plans on continuing this relationship.
I love her to death, you know, and we was talking about getting married in July.
Sheriff Pat Melton says this arrest will qualify Abrams to be charged as a persistent felony offender. In Franklin County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
In 2014, Abrams was found guilty of harboring vicious animals after his dogs attacked a neighbor, sending her to the hospital.
The number of Zika cases here in this country continues to grow, and so far there have been at least 4 dozen. It's been particularly bad in Florida, where a health emergency has been declared in 5 counties. Travelers have brought 12 cases into the state. The governor is asking the Centers for Disease Control to help fight it.
We have 20.3 million people live in our state. We're a state that has the mosquitoes that are, similar to the mosquitoes that could carry this. So it's better to get ahead of this.
There have been no confirmed cases in Kentucky, but a Murray State student says he contracted Zika while visiting his family in Haiti. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain talked to him about what happened.
20-year-old Chantry Carroll is back in Kentucky after he says he and his family were sick with the Zika virus.
We didn't know at first until after we all started getting it that I had Zika.
The Murray State junior came back to Kentucky a couple of weeks ago after visiting his family in Haiti. The Carrolls are full-time missionaries who have lived there for more than a year. When Chantry went to visit during Christmas break, he said he had mosquito bites all over his feet and was the first person in his family to have symptoms of the virus.
I started feeling really sick right around New Year's, and I would just wake up in the morning and just feel really dizzy, and I had a lot of pain behind my eyes.
Chantry says over the course of a few days, his brother, mom, dad, and sister all became sick with the virus. He came back to Kentucky on January 12th feeling better, but said he had lingering joint pain for a few days. He says everyone in his family is healthy again.
It's kind of crazy that it's in the news so much. Every time I see a Zika article, I usually share it with my mom.
Chantry's mom says she is worried about a friend of hers in Haiti who is pregnant. The biggest concern with Zika is that the virus is linked to birth defects. In Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Carroll says his family did not get tested for Zika. An infectious disease specialist with Baptist Health says he does not think Kentucky will see widespread cases.
It is a crime that broke hearts across a central Kentucky community. Logan Tipton died December 7th. Police say Ronald Exantis stabbed him to death inside his family's Woodford County home. Logan's school recently received a new tribute to him. WKYT's Rebecca Smith shows us the memorial in a story that's new at 5.
The library at Simmons Elementary School was a place little Logan Tipton loved. Mindy Logan says it's been tough since his passing on the students, teachers, and staff here.
It's been really nice to see the outpouring of love for his family, for our school, not just here in Versailles, but it's rippled to Lexington and all across the state.
The school's collected plastic bottle caps, and businesses have donated plastic to be exchanged for a memorial bench for Logan. They say little Logan was so friendly he would always make fellow students feel like they had someone to talk to. The bench is a place they can sit and read or talk to each other about Logan.
Things will happen, people will say something, that will cause you to remember him, or something, you'll find his paper or something like that, but we've tried to fall back into a routine.
The wooden bench's creator will remain anonymous, but it is a company in Indiana that will be crafting the plastic bench for the outside of the school. In Woodford County, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
There will be a ceremony dedicating the outdoor memorial in the spring.
You'll probably want to enjoy the next few days. We have pleasant weather ahead before winter really returns. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here with an early check of the forecast. Chris?
Yeah, a lot of nice weather blowing into town over the next few days. Starting to see some of the nice weather on our sky cam. We've been sucked into the clouds all day long. We've been following the back edge of that cloud line. Now look at what we are seeing on the western horizon. At least a little bit of clearing that is showing up, and it's behind that clearing that we get the good stuff over the next few days. If you're out this evening, here's what you're going to be facing. It's cold, 34 degrees, seasonal chill that is in the air. Look at the northwesterly wind, making it feel like it's in the upper 20s right now across the downtown Lexington area. Throughout the entire region, those temperatures generally 30 to 35 degrees, a little milder in the parts of southeastern Kentucky, but the clearing line is indeed beginning to settle into central and eastern Kentucky. Some snow flurries in the northern parts of the area as of now. But as we look ahead, nice weather this weekend. And there's always a but in that. But you better enjoy it before Old Man Winter returns sooner rather than later. Come next Monday through Wednesday, guys, we are tracking an increase in snow and a decrease in temperatures. We'll break it down for you when I come back in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Donald Trump had a packed campaign scheduled today in New Hampshire after a disappointing finish in Iowa. Trump is stepping up his efforts in the nation's first primary.
As Danielle Nottingham shows us, his campaign is promising the voters will notice the difference.
We're at the beginning of a very, very important last few days.
Donald Trump took a break from his attacks against rival Ted Cruz on the campaign trail, one day after slamming Cruz on social media, accusing him of stealing the Iowa caucuses with official-looking campaign mailers. Trump tweeted, "This is the Cruz voter violation certificate sent to everyone, a misdemeanor at minimum." Cruz said Trump was just angry.
And I have not responded in kind, and I do not intend to respond in kind.
Trump was leading in the polls in Iowa before a last-minute surge from Cruz. Trump's campaign is trying to avoid a second loss in New Hampshire.
We do have more volunteers, more active in the call centers. We do have more people out there knocking on doors. They're even going out in teams now so they can have a lot of fun doing it.
Political analysts say it's too late for Trump to build a ground game because it's a strategy that's months in the making. Andy Smith is a political science professor at the University of New Hampshire.
If Donald Trump can continue to be Donald Trump the brand and not Donald Trump the politician, or Donald Trump complaining that the election was rigged in Iowa, then I think that he's got a really good chance of winning.
Trump supporters agree.
He's not afraid to rock the boat, and the boat needs to get turned over.
The Republican field will have its last debate before the primary Saturday. Democrats Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton hold their first one-on-one debate tonight. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Durham, New Hampshire.
And the New Hampshire primary is next Tuesday.
An Amish minister is considering a plea deal in his wife's murder. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Barron County. According to court records, Samuel Borntreger went to authorities in Barron County last month and confessed to poisoning his wife when they lived in Missouri. She died in 2006, and no foul play was suspected at the time. Prosecutors in Missouri will not discuss the details of the plea bargain. A scam alert today in Pulaski County, and this is one we've touched on several times in the last few months. The sheriff's office says it has received reports of someone calling people pretending to be with the IRS. The caller demands payment for taxes or says you're facing a lawsuit from the IRS. The sheriff's office says the calls are not legitimate and the IRS will not ask for payments using the phone or money card or make threats over the phone. The city of Nicholasville is trying to fast-track a new homeless shelter. The Planning Commission needs to change the wording of a zoning classification in order for the Jessamine County Homeless Coalition to open a shelter. The change is on the agenda for the Planning Commission's next meeting on February 22nd. The Jessamine Journal reports it will then need approval from the City Commission, which could happen by mid-March.
A former drug company CEO testifies before Congress about high drug prices, why lawmakers didn't get much information from him. Doctors are trying a very old method to help cancer patients, how it's bringing them relief in better living. And a woman accused in a violent robbery pleads guilty, the deal she made with prosecutors on WKYT News at 5:30.
When you turn on your faucet, you expect to drink clean water. But after the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, WKYT investigates what's being done locally to keep our water clean. What's in your water? Tonight at 6 on WKYT.
Sometimes you get into your mid-40s and you're working harder than ever in the gym, and sometimes it's not your fault. And that's where Body Shapes came in. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I've got more passion, more energy, and I'm happier than ever. Without hesitation, I tell anyone to go to Body Shapes.
It's Furniture World Superstore's biggest tax refund sale ever. Now's a great time to redecorate your home because Furniture World stretches your tax refund with huge savings store-wide, plus 2 years interest-free. Now at Furniture World, use your tax refund to refurnish your living room or dining room, update your bedroom, sleep better on a comfortable new mattress. We're serious about saving you big money. Get huge tax refund savings, plus it's interest-free for 2 full years. So hurry in and save during our biggest tax refund sale ever. Now at all 5 Furniture World Superstore locations.
Guys, when you order now, you get a free pizza after Super Bowl 50.
That's a great idea. Ever notice how people always show up when you have free pizza? Free pizza? Hello, we get it after the Super Bowl?
Oh, I'll come back.
Order now through Super Bowl Sunday at papajohns.com and get a free pizza starting the Monday after Super Bowl. Use promo code Super Bowl 50.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better football.
papajohns.com.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, and digital coupons you can download right to your Plus card. No spin, just savings.
Treat your family to a boneless pork loin for only $1.99 a pound. And large avocados are 10 for $10. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
How many power company employees does it take to change 2,500 light bulbs? I'm Delinda Borden for Kentucky Power. One of our experts came out and found the theater could save a lot of money just by changing their light bulbs.
We're saving nearly 87% on our electric bill compared to the old incandescents.
By helping the Paramount to save money, we help them to stay viable in the future. I'll never perform on stage. I'm just proud to be part of the supporting cast.
We may be a power company, but the true power in our communities comes from our people.
For the first time since I can remember and forever, I liked shopping because I liked how I looked in the clothes I tried on. So that's been really fun. The more you lose, the more you want to stick to it and do it, and that was my motivation.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A lot of clouds across much of the region so far today. Areas west of 75, though, clouds are thinning, wouldn't you know it, just in time for the evening to sweep on into town for the sun to call it quits on the day. Mountain Parkway cam, it just looks cold and kind of dreary, doesn't it? That's the view that we are seeing across the Mountain Parkway. We've had a similar view on our live sky cam in Lexington for a while now, but toward that western horizon, grasping at straws here, I know, but we're starting to see at least a little bit of some clearing scooting on into town. Those current temperatures, by the way, are low and mid 30s, adding to the chill, the winds. Feels like 28, Lexington 25-degree wind chill into Richmond. So if you're out this evening, dress for the feels-like temperature to be down into the low and mid-20s. Actual thermometer readings tomorrow morning should be into the low 20s. Friday forecast, 5 o'clock tomorrow. We're into the low 40s, if not a mid-40 across parts of southern Kentucky. Good-looking forecast into the afternoon tomorrow. And your Friday evening out on the town, we're going to drop it below freezing fairly quickly. Defender Radar Network, couple of snow flurries earlier in the day into far northern Kentucky. It's about all she wrote. 3-day threat track, nothing, nothing, and nothing. Now, tomorrow when you're tuning in, we will expand this into Monday, and that threat track will be up a little bit as we track Old Man Winter back into the bluegrass state. Between now and then, the hour-by-hour forecast showing you it's going to be awfully, awfully nice, considering where we are and where we are going. Temperatures tonight will drop into the low and mid-20s tomorrow afternoon. Nice recovery, 40 to 45 most areas. A little bit of cloud cover tries to scoot on in here at some point tomorrow afternoon heading into the evening. It's going to be hard to get a completely blue sky over the next few days. Look at that Saturday forecast, mid and upper 40s. Someone may have a 50 in their back pocket to use before the day is over. Now we go towards Super Bowl Sunday. Temperatures low 30s to start. We're deep into the 40s with an increase in clouds into the afternoon. But if you're heading to some of those Super Bowl parties as of now, most of the wintry weather arrives late Sunday night and into Monday. Early next week, here's the pattern for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Northwesterly wind flow, little disturbances cruising on into town. That sets the stage for widespread snow showers, snow squalls that will at least put accumulations down on any given day. Could be talking about a couple of inches, could be talking about a little more than that over a drawn out period. Not like it's just a big storm that's going to put everything down at once. It's likely to snow in this type of a pattern all the way into parts of the deep south, and it's being pushed by some bitterly cold temperatures. So enjoy that 48 on Saturday. If you're asking me to pick one day of the next couple of weeks that looks the absolute best, by far and away, as of now, that is Saturday. In the middle and end of next week, look out. Likely to put some snow on the ground late Monday and especially Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's going to kind of come at us one right after the other.
Yeah, it's coming at us in waves. Literally across our region, we're going to be tracking on your Defender Radar Network snow every hour on the hour from Monday through probably Thursday morning. Not heavy snows, but there's going to be snow during that entire period.
All right, Chris, thank you.
You bet.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic. It's pretty quiet on the Circle and Man of War. That's pretty good news for outbound Nicholasville Road at the Circle, for instance. No trouble there on in Adjustment County. We have a crash in Madison County. It's at Lancaster and the bypass. Police are still working that one, so it's going to cause some issues there on the bypass as they try to get that clear in Richmond. Now, as far as drive times go, pretty good shape right now. It looks like headed towards Scott County on 75. Everything appears to be normal. No problems into Versailles, past the airport, looking good. Now back to you in the studio.
CBS gearing up to bring you the Super Bowl this weekend. We'll show you what it takes to broadcast the big game just ahead.
The Cats are back on WKYT to take on the Gators at Rupp in an SEC showdown you will only see on your official UK station. Kentucky versus Florida, Saturday at 4, followed by Wildcat Wrap-Up, only on WKYT.
This week at Ashley Home Store's President's Day sale, get instant savings of up to 20% off your entire purchase, plus 12 months interest free, or pay no interest for 5 full years with no minimum purchase. President's Day savings ends soon. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
More! We have more flights to more of the places you want to go every single day. See for yourself. Visit us today.
These little chickies and little doggies are small, but they're intense.
Oh, yeah, small but intense, like my niece Hannah.
Oh, yeah. And you take karate?
Yeah, she does. Show them how intense you are, Hannah.
Yeah! Ah!
Oh, my God. Hey!
Yes. Now finish him. Bow to her, Peter.
I'm gonna bow to it.
Bow to her, Peter.
Big flavor in a little package. New little chickies and little doggies. And grab a burrito and drink for $3 delivered in 2 minutes, guaranteed. This is how you Sonic.
Just in time for your long winter's nap, 0% financing for 6 years and free TVs. This week at Sleep Outfitters. Savings store-wide with Sealy mattresses as low as $99 each piece. This Sealy gel foam pillow top just $4.99 with a free TV. A Tempur-Pedic adjustable queen set just $34 a month. 0% financing for 6 years, free TVs, store-wide savings, and free same-day delivery. Happening now at Sleep Outfitters.
Looking to fall in love this Valentine's Day? Fall in love with summer at the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Make it a date or bring the entire family. You're going to fall in love with the selection and savings. Shop the latest boats, RVs, and motorsports. Zipline across Rupp Arena with Red River Gorge Zipline. Brought to you by Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers. This year's special guest is everyone's favorite angler, G-Man, Gerald Swindle. Visit the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Brought to you by Lee's Ford Marina.
Attention ladies! Bud's Gun Shop and Range wants to invite you to Ladies Night. Learn basic handgun skills and try them out on the range. Sign up now at Bud's Gun Shop and Range, located on Industry Road behind Eastland Shopping Center.
This week at Ashley Home Store's President's Day sale, find your perfect Tempur-Pedic sleep system and pay no interest for 8 full years. Queen mattresses start at less than $18 a month. America's #1 mattress and furniture store. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
This week, the Jeopardy! College Championship is finally here.
Let's go to work.
15 of the brightest college students compete to make their schools and their parents proud.
Jeopardy! Tonight at 7:30 on WKYT. Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Here's a look at the most viewed stories on our website right now. People want to know about a computer problem that shut down the IRS tax return e-file system, an arrest in the murder of a Garrett County farmer, and the Zika emergency declared in Florida. You can find those stories and more on WKYT.com.
A former drug company CEO went before Congress today to answer to massive hikes in drug prices. Martin Shkreli made headlines last fall when he raised the price of a drug by 5,000%. It's the only drug approved to treat a rare, deadly parasitic infection. Congressman questioned him, but he refused to give any answers.
Do you think you've done anything wrong? On the advice of counsel, I invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination and respectfully decline to answer your question.
Shkreli faces federal charges for securities fraud. After leaving the hearing, he tweeted, "Hard to accept that these imbeciles represent the people in our government."
4 people still occupying an Oregon wildlife refuge now face charges. All 4 face felony conspiracy charges because investigators say they're using intimidation to prevent federal officers from doing their work. The 4 have said they won't leave until receiving assurances they won't be charged. The standoff began on January 2nd.
A man pretended to be a superhero in order to commit a crime. A man dressed as Batman robbed a dollar store in Orange County, Florida, Tuesday night. The masked robber demanded money from the clerk before taking off. The sheriff's office says a man matching his description robbed another dollar store about an hour and a half later. CBS is getting ready to bring you Super Bowl 50 this Sunday night. It's a huge production with 70 cameras capturing all the game and 13 production trailers to put it all on the air. This year's broadcast also includes 30 mounted cameras for a 360 view and 16 pylon cameras. Not only will they enhance the viewer's experience, it will benefit the commentators as well.
This technology helps give him some information that he can analyze and make it interesting visually.
You can see Super Bowl 50 right here on CBS and WKYT. Pre-game coverage begins at 6 on Sunday night, followed by the game at 6:30. A guilty plea from one of 4 people charged in a violent robbery. We'll have more on the deal on WKYT News at 5:30.
Honda expanding an airbag recall and the benefits of acupuncture for breast cancer patients. You can find those stories and more in Better Living.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
Get 5 amazing deals. Up to 50% off furniture and mattresses. Up to 20% and more off TVs and appliances. Savings as good as a state sales tax break. 0 interest till 2019. And free delivery. But our super sale weekend ends Tuesday.
Nobody beats peanuts.
Looking for the best boat your money can buy?
Check out Tracker, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Tahoe boats. Backed by the best factory warranties in the business. And Tracker is holding the line on pricing. Most 2016 boats are at or below last year's prices. Like the 2016 Tracker Pro Team 190 TX for $1,100 below the 2014 price. 2016 boats at 2015 prices. At the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boating Center in Corbin.
I grew up in Harlan, but I've lived in Lexington since graduating from UK, and it's given me a real appreciation for what it means to stand for Kentucky. Whether it's a big city or a small town, the people of Kentucky want our state to succeed. And we here at WKYT want to do our part to share the stories of difference makers who make our state a better place to live. I'm WKYT's Barbara Bailey, and I stand for Kentucky.
Get on your computer or mobile device. Because of all the great Toyota deals out there, most are not seen on TV. That's why you need to visit buyatoyota.com for a huge selection of savings offers that couldn't possibly fit in a TV commercial, including 0% financing, great lease deals, and 2-year no-cost maintenance. So get on your computer or mobile device and go to buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. Toyota, let's go places.
At the end of the broadcast, I'm most proud of what we have done as a team. This is the ultimate team sport, television news, and all of the people that have contributed to that night's broadcast, people who have risked their lives to tell the news and to deliver to the American people the highest quality news broadcast in the world today. That is a very satisfying feeling.
It's Furniture World Superstore's biggest tax refund sale ever. Now's a great time to redecorate your home because Furniture World stretches your tax refund with huge savings store-wide. Plus, 2 years interest-free. Now at Furniture World, use your tax refund to refurnish your living room or dining room. Update your bedroom. Sleep better on a comfortable new mattress. We're serious about saving you big money. Get huge tax refund savings. Plus, it's interest-free for 2 full years. So hurry in and save during our biggest tax refund sale ever. Now at all 5 Furniture World Superstore locations.
We've just made the biggest laundry buyout in our 70-year history. Now get a buyout LG or Whirlpool washer and dryer and save up to 30%. 24 months, 0 interest. And we service what we sell. Another reason why nobody beats P-Rats.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Honda is expanding its recall of cars with Takata airbags. The company will add another 2.2 million Hondas and Acuras. The recall includes models dating back to 2005 as well as new vehicles, including some from 2016. Honda will notify affected customers. Acupuncture has been practiced in China and other Asian countries for thousands of years. Research has shown the practice can reduce pain as well as nausea and vomiting after chemotherapy. As Carl Azuz shows us, doctors are now looking to see if it can help certain breast cancer patients.
When TTR Rio was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer, her doctors put her on a treatment that caused her to have some serious side effects.
I had joint pains, my knees and my ankles, and my entire body just hurts.
So her physicians recommended she take part in a trial study that looked at acupuncture as a way to relieve some of her pain. She says it worked.
I was sleeping better, and also the pains reduced.
Experts say more than 60% of women with early-stage breast cancer suffer from hot flashes, joint and muscle pain, and depression caused by their treatment. They thought if acupuncture could help these patients with some of their discomfort, it could eventually be used as therapy along with the medication.
First, I'm going to clean this.
What they found was both patients who were treated with acupuncture and sham acupuncture, which involves retractable needles that are not placed in acupuncture pressure points, said they felt some relief.
Minimum side effects, and this can potentially help them have significant symptom improvement.
Dr. Bao theorizes that the pricks from both real and sham acupuncture needles may stimulate the body, which can relieve pain, and sham or not, acupuncture may be a reasonable alternative to help these women. For today's Health Minute, I'm Carl Azuz.
Ben & Jerry's now offers a dairy-free version of their popular treat. 4 flavors have a vegan version, meaning they have no dairy, eggs, or honey. Those flavors include Chunky Monkey, Chocolate Fudge Brownie, Coffee Caramel Fudge, and Peanut Butter and Cookies. Since it doesn't include any cream, Ben & Jerry's is labeling the treat as non-dairy frozen dessert. For more health, education, and consumer news, go to WKYT.com and click on Better Living. Now, here's what's coming up at 5:30.